Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith that produces works, and your faith that is sustained by your works. In my last lecture I showed that faith without work is dead, and also that the only way we can prove our faith is by our works. This lecture I want to show how faith produces works and how faith is sustained, so that our works shall prove our faith. By the growth of your understanding of the action of your thought, so is the power of your faith increased in proportion. When you become aware of the action of your thought, you will know the result before you begin. This is proved by the Master statement, "Believe you have received and you shall have." He was aware of the action of his thought, aware of the power of his thought, knowing clearly that the Father and he were one. And knowing that, he used the same creative power in any way whatsoever to create whatever you choose. Your consciousness is the fundamental principle. Now this consciousness is in God, and it is not in anything else. It is in God. I say the word God, now you have an assumption of what this God is. And many of you have an idea that this God is somewhere outside yourself, but it is not true. God is infinite in nature, and therefore everything must be within him, and there can be no outside. And his consciousness can be the only consciousness ruling in the whole universe. It is the creative power of God, it's the creative power in man. That is why man is said to be the image and likeness of the Creator. If you remember this, then you'll know clearly and distinctly the action of your thought. And if you understand it, you can say what the Master said, "Believe you have received and you shall have." Now when you are ignorant of this law of mind and action, you place little value on your thoughts. Yet you are affected by the effects created, and naturally rebel against them, or are pleased on the other hand. But this ignorant reaction is of no value to you because you do not understand how your faith produces works. By rebelling against effects, you only increase their intensity. On the other hand, if you are just ignorantly pleased with results, you will soon lose what you have gained because you are unaware of how these things have come about. He that hath not even that which he hath will be taken away from him. This is the vicious circle of ignorance in which the great majority of people are in. The majority of people today are rebelling against the effects. They fight these effects. Therefore, giving them a power they have none. They have no power of their own. But they give them a power which they do not possess. Therefore, when you fight anything, any condition that is relative to yourself, you are giving that relative thing a power that does not possess because it has no real power of its own except the power you give it. And it is necessary to understand this, because if you don't, you will never understand faith. He that hath not even that which he hath will be taken away from him. That is, he that hath not faith, understanding, even that which he hath will be taken away from him. There is but one mode of action used in creation, whether it be the creation of a man's mind, or creation of a rock, a tree, or an animal, or human being in the infinite mind. The mode of action is the same because man's mind is a reflection of the infinite mind. And I want you to please remember this tremendous fact, because it is most important to you when you want to realize faith. The faith I'm talking about is not the faith where you have the opposite doubt. The faith I'm talking about is a faith through understanding. And if you will remember what I said about the consciousness, your consciousness being the creative faculty in your own mind, whatever the consciousness is aware of, so it is unto you. Whether the consciousness is aware of something in fear, or whether it is aware of something in faith, it means the same thing. These two will reproduce equally. One the thing you fear, and the other the thing you have faith in. But I want to see which image in your mind is the strongest. You will see that it's the image you fear rather than the image you have faith in. Therefore, you will see that the image that you fear is very often produced because the consciousness is more aware of it. Now it is necessary through divine reasoning to understand where your consciousness is, so that you know that the creative power in man is the same creative power that God uses, because He has made man in His own image and likeness. And the creation in man's mind, the mode of action that takes place in this creation, is the same as the mode of action that takes place in the creative mind, whether it be a rock, a tree, an animal, or a human being in the infinite mind. It is because you have not the realization of the completeness of this consciousness that these things do not manifest at once. But time will come when you pray, knowing what you are doing while you pray, that your prayers will be answered instantaneously. It is some considerable time before your prayers sometimes come into operation. For instance, what is a prayer? A prayer is opening yourself to that inflow of that life principle which in itself has no conditions attached to it whatsoever. It is free and natural. Now I see this clearly and distinctly. I see how the infinite has created the body, the mind of the individual, the brain, the nervous system, all the organs of the body, for its own self-expression. It is the life that is expressing itself, and God is life. Now life created then the body, the brain, and the nervous system as a perfect machine, how it could act and think in this plane of manifestation, and also create. Therefore, through your emotions, you create what we call, what I would say clearly and distinctly, an emotional habit pattern, which you create through your nervous system, through this particular portion of the brain that life created for the purpose of the ordinary running of the organism as a smooth machine. But by your emotional states, you create this pattern that is established then in this what we call the cerebellum. And this portion then sets up this mysterious reaction in your body which you feel the sensation of. And immediately then you bestow your attention upon that thing. You increase its intensity. But you see, it was by your own emotional reaction to conditions, things, people, whatever it is may be, that brought about this change in this brain. How are you then to get this back to normality? That is the point. If you have a habit, an emotional habit pattern created in yourselves, and that is being externalized in your body, because your body is the sounding board of your mind, your thoughts, your images, your emotions. how are you then to overcome this thing? Well, there is, thanks the Almighty, because He created you in the image of Himself, which must be perfect in Him. And this machine He created perfect also, to run the organism as a perfect, smooth working machine where all the organs work together in perfect harmony. But when you have these emotional breakdowns, what happens? You have civil war taking place in your own organism because of this habit pattern you've created in your own cerebellum. And the only way that you can get rid of it is through divine reasoning, as I'm showing you, and proper relaxation. So that you take the relaxation, the tenseness of the muscles, of the nerves, these inhibiting processes that strangle and paralyze your nerve centers and your organs. Close the muscles around your large vessels, the large blood vessels, causing the heart to beat faster so that it pushes the blood into your brain, and therefore you have high blood pressure. Stroke, perhaps. All these things are brought about because of this stupid reaction you have to things external to yourself, because you do not know the action of your thought, your emotion. You are not aware of them. You do not discern what you are doing. Consequently, you are unconsciously creating this habit pattern which is as pictured in your body. And because you fear it, you stimulate it, and what happens? Your vicious circle is then set in motion, and you find there is no way of getting out. But there is a way, and I am showing you that way. In developing our faith that produces works, we must in the first place recognize this unity which is a cosmic fact. The Father and I are one. In this realization, the power of thought becomes active in the individual thinker. And to this unity we must ascribe all power and glory and acknowledge it as the source of all that we accomplish. Even when Jesus went to raise Lazarus from the dead, his words were these: Father, thou hast already heard me. Knowing that he never did anything on his own. Never. And the true disciple never does anything on his own. In this also there can only be effective concentration of the ideas to be done. For if you are double-minded, you see good and evil, and these two battle for supremacy in your mind. So you fight the one that you do not want, with the result that you give it a power it does not possess. The Master saw that there was nothing to fight when he said, resist not evil, but overcome evil with good. This was showing that evil did not really exist except in man's own mind. When you bring a light into the darkness disappears. When your consciousness realizes its unity with the perfect one, so does all evil disappear. But if good and evil exist in your mind, you have a double mind, where there is also faith and doubt side by side. For instance, if your mind has the image of disease and health, or success and failure, these two images will destroy your creative power and also your faith. Now, I'm showing you this because I want you to see the meaning of the Master's words. If you have two ideas in your mind, if you have the idea of health in your mind, and you then continue to suggest health to yourself, what happens while you're doing so? You're creating the very opposite to health. You're creating the idea of ill health, because these two always exist side by side. You never have health by itself. You always have health and ill health. These are the two images. Success and failure. These are the images in your mind that are continually fighting one another. Who created them? You. You are the creator. If you are the creator of both, and you do not know that you are the creator of both these images, and you allow them to fight each other in your mind, then your creative field is destroyed. I'm going to show you why this takes place. And if you bring the truth into the mind, disease and failure disappear. Neither do you have to concentrate on health, for truth does not know health or disease. If you bring up the image of health, you also call up the opposite, disease. You have perhaps never been taught this before, but I am telling you, this is the Master's teachings, the true teachings of the Master. It is not psychology or suggestion, which the majority of people teach, or affirmation. Do you know that a strong affirmation very often brings the very opposite about? A valid affirmation often brings the very opposite to what you want. The more you try to get well, the sicker you get. Well, the whole story is quite simple. Quite simple. The dominant idea in the mind. The dominant idea in the mind. What do you affirm for? What do you make it a violent suggestion for? To overcome a violent other idea that is in your mind. That's why it is there. But these two patterns are existing side by side. And what happens to you? Then you have civil war going on in your mind and your body. You are not what we call, let thine eye be single. Remember that the great power of truth is. I and the Father are one. There can be no other truth but that. No other truth. Any other truth is a fallacy. And under those circumstances, whatever you say and do, so it is manifested because of the truth that the Father and you are one. Therefore, you are free. No longer have you to fight something that has no power of its own. But you understand clearly and distinctly that the creative power inherent in the Father has been granted to the Son. The life in the Father is the life in the Son. As the Father hath life in himself, so has the Son been granted life unto himself. That same life. It is all things, all creative power, peace and understanding, comes as a natural sequence to the understanding of the truth, I and the Father are one. But we must, truth, they cannot be divided or destroyed. It is only in the mind of man where ignorance of this fact exists. And we find in many high places, we find many in high places who are unaware of this all-important truth. We must recognize the mind as a single and simple unit, and that is just what it is. If we allow our minds to wander off to the idea of a part of the unit here, a part of it there, then we pass into the relative which is the cause of our loss of faith and through direction of our thought. Immediately we begin to react to the relative which is limitation, and thereby limit our faith, and the work is not produced. Your faith is not obtained by your stupid reactions to things and forms, but by understanding of the intelligence behind all things and forms, and the operation of that intelligence. Neither is your faith obtained through the idea of time and space factor, but through the knowledge that spirit is one whole, with no division in time or space. The great difficulty is that we have divided the mind into many different parts, and we've taken these parts as separate parts of the mind, where there is only one mind, one action, one mode of action, one life, one expression. There are different functions, natural, but these functions are under the control of the one existing life. Spirit is omnipresent in its entirety. Therefore, at any moment of time, all spirit is concentrated at any point in space that we choose to fix our attention upon. So it is clear, I, the Father, are one. There can be no time or space in infinity. Time and space exist in man's mind as a relative thing and not a reality. It is a relative thing, and we deal with relative things, we are lost in the relative. Even some of your greatest men have talked about that there is time and space. But we know who understand the greater side of life and understand the creative principle behind all things. We see then that this creative principle being the infinite mind, in which there can be no time or space, being eternal and ever present. When you measure the distance between one object and another, you see between me and you, that is relative space. But don't you see clearly and distinctly, you do not understand that you are not outside at all, that you are within one mind, you are in the infinite, you are living and moving in ether, a substance that is 9 million times denser than matter. You are all breathing in the same air, the same oxygen. You are living in this magnetic substance in which you draw your life from. And all the time you say there is space and distance. Yes, because you do not know and understand that there is this substance which is more real. You see that the abstract is the real. The concrete is not the real thing. The concrete is but the expression of the abstract. And the concrete exists in the abstract and not out of it. The concrete is an expression in the abstract and of the abstract, but it does not exist outside it. If you can understand this, you will know that your consciousness is active in this substance which responds according to your consciousness, according to what your consciousness is aware of, so shall it be unto you. What is your consciousness aware of then? That is the question. Have you then examined these images, ideas? Have you discerned them to know which of them is the most powerful? When you know the truth, you will see that the image you fear will melt away because there is nothing to fear. Attention is a form of concentrated thought that is not subject to time or space, but is the process of forming what the attention is fixed upon. If this is not understood, then our attention is directed to that which breaks it up, and our works is not produced. This paragraph is quite a difficult one for you, but I have written it in this way so that you can study it and make it your own. Attention is a form of concentrated thought that is not subject to time or space. Think of it. Is your attention subject to time or space? No. But it's the process of forming what the attention is fixed upon. Whatever the attention is fixed upon, there is formation. Because there is your thought in concentrated form, directed by the consciousness itself. If this is not understood, then your attention is directed to that which breaks it up. And what breaks up your attention? Doubt and fear. Not understanding the truth. The fact is that we all exist in the absolute, and from the absolute all phenomena flow. Whether it is a mental or a physical, whether a mental or a physical plane, the knowledge of this is the basis upon which we develop our faith to produce works. What I want you to do is to discern your own mind in which much conflict exists. As to its function, some say that man has two minds. One is conscious and one is subconscious. But in reality, there is but one mind. We will agree that there is an inner and outer function, but to say that they are separate and distinct is a fallacy. Faith to produce works can only be developed by a true understanding of the relation of each function. Both these functions are united by the consciousness, which is the creative faculty. If the consciousness is caught up in the relative, the outer, it reacts to conditions and personal environment, which is very much limited. Is your consciousness then caught up in that limited state of the things external to the self? Is your consciousness builded here and buffeted there and struck down and become weakened through your fear of these things external to yourself? If your consciousness becomes aware of fear then, in this limitation, don't you see that your creative power and faith is completely destroyed? Takes into cognition time, space, and events, etc., and is influenced by them, and reasons from this limited basis. Therefore, you reason from the limited basis of the external or relative world. If you do that, then you are lost in the relative world and your faith is destroyed. It is only through divine reason what I am showing clearly and distinctly that the consciousness of man is but the consciousness of God. The consciousness of God is the creative faculty that creates all things in heaven and on earth. All power has been given unto me in heaven and on earth, because of the fact that the truth, this truth, is within oneself. In this way, the consciousness draws conclusions from supposed facts or effects which are seen on the surface, the real or cause being hidden, or when only partly seen while the whole is not recognized. Thus your consciousness is limited, subscribed by your opinions or personal experience, which prevents true understanding of the power of faith. If then your consciousness draws conclusions from supposed facts or effects which you see on the surface, the real cause of these effects you do not see. They are hidden from you. But to a great extent, they are your own creations because of your own emotional habit patterns, which you have created in yourselves, which have externalized yourself in your body and your circumstances. Your attitude of mind towards other people, your stupid reactions, is none other than a pattern. This pattern is being expressed, and you do not know that you have created this pattern yourself. And if your consciousness is limited by this pattern you have created through your emotional reaction, then your faith is destroyed. You have no faith at all. You may say you have faith, but you have none. Because why? Doubt will destroy that faith. Fear will destroy that faith. Because you are not aware. So we see that if human consciousness is limited, circumscribed by your opinions or personal experience, which prevent true understanding of the power of faith. In this way, fear, doubt, apprehension is caused by assuming facts seen on the surface to be true, not knowing how they came about. Now that the consciousness has accepted these facts, a mental process is immediately set up to act upon these deductions and suggestions, however false they may be, and works out every suggestion in the minutest detail. So we see clearly what Job meant when he said, "What I feared came upon me." Then I say again, fear as an emotion of great strength. You create then your emotional habit pattern through your emotional fears, anxieties, and so forth. And as it is true that there is a mental process immediately set up and acts upon these deductions, and never mind how false they may be, they are worked out in every detail through your cerebellum. And this is where the mischief is created, through your emotional habit patterns. Therefore you see what Job said is a truth. What I feared came upon me. Whatever the consciousness is aware of, whatever the consciousness impresses on the mind produces faithfully and logically, with all the details accurately produced, whether these facts are true or not. Again the Master's words come before me. When ye pray, believe ye have received, and ye shall have. Whatever the consciousness is aware of. So it will be logically and faithfully produced, in all details, accurately produced, whether the facts are true or not. Therefore, you see, if I am conscious of the fact that I have received, I shall have. But what makes me conscious of the fact I have received when the thing is not evident? But Paul comes to our aid here. It is faith is the evidence of things not seen. Now, what is this faith that is the evidence of things not seen? My consciousness. I have created that by my own consciousness. The thought is the seed I have planted in that universal mind. And according to the seed I plant, so it will be faithfully produced. According to the seed I place in the ground, so shall the intelligence faithfully reproduce that seed. If it is corn, I may have 10, 20, 30, 100 years of corn. But it will faithfully reproduce that seed. My consciousness is the creator of the seed I plant in that mind, universal mind. I have already received it, I have planted it. I know then that the intelligence will reproduce that seed accordingly, logically, faithfully, according to its kind. Whatever the consciousness is aware of, so shall it be unto you. Whatsoever you pray, believe you have received, and you shall have. Some important observations I have made have sustained my faith in what the prophets have said. One of these is that the body can be directed to complete restoration without any material aid when the consciousness is aware of the truth. This proves to me that the mind which supports the body is entirely impersonal. It can become the builder of the body as well as the destroyer, according to what the consciousness is aware of. Again the Master's words come before me, let your eye be single. Being impersonal in nature, the eye must be single. That's what the Master meant. You and I have been endowed by the creative power to do with it whatever we choose. And we find that through our stupid reactions we gain experience. This law of cause and effect that exists in the relative world surely directs us to that which is real, because we come up against many things. These experiences are not our stumbling blocks, but our stepping stones. The mind immediately proceeds to outpicture what the consciousness is aware of, whether it is health or ill health, whether it is one of misery or joy, success or failure. Thus, what a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. In Deuteronomy, I have read these words given by Moses to his followers. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that I have set before thee life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore choose life, that thou mayest live. If Moses said that, when Jesus said greater things, he who believeth in him who sent me has already eternal life. He is passed across from death to life. Now, he who believes in me and him who sent me has eternal life. And Moses calls upon his followers, and that was a strong word. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day that I have set before thee life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore choose life that you may live. And I can see how it was at this time when the tribes were going through the desert. Many were sick. Many were dying of the sickness. Moses was concerned about the state of affairs, because these people were looking upon death. They were looking upon death and not upon life. All that was in their mind was, will I be sick? Will I die? And Moses called them together, and I can picture him in his tremendous force and understanding. He said, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day that I have set before you the life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore choose life that thou mayest live. But Jesus comes and says, take up thy bed and walk. Rise. describes the work, that what man has to do is to choose that which he will have. The Master clearly makes the great statement of the truth for our benefit. The Father and I are one. If the Father and I are one, then there is eternal life, because the infinite is eternal. There is more in this than meets the eye. You have read it 1,000 times. One facet of it will appear before you. Another one will appear before you. And on to eternity. I and the Father are one becomes the greatest and most powerful affirmation of truth that there is. This is the truth that will set you free when the consciousness realizes I and the Father are one. What a truth! The habit which most of you have established is to allow the consciousness to be influenced by that which appears on the outer, with the result that all your ideas are reduced to the effects of past experiences, not knowing that all is possible to him that believes. If then that you are influenced and that your ideas are reduced to the effects of past experiences, whether there be success or failure, I tell you, whether there be success or failure, it makes no difference. If you attach your faith, if you attach your ideas to that which has been in the past or which you think will come in the future, you are living in an illusion of the mind, because that is an illusion of the mind. What is the creative principle? Whatever the consciousness is aware of, so shall it be unto you. Whatever you believe, and other the Master's words, he that believeth, all is possible to him that believeth. I put it in these other words. Whatever your consciousness is aware of, so shall that be unto you. Whether it is sickness, ill health, failure, doubt, or anything, whatever the case may be. Therefore, if you allow your emotions to drive you into that habit pattern of expressing your stupid reactions, then I say, more fool you. But if you take my advice and you look upon this truth from the point of the creative power that is established in you, through the inheritance of that divine gift made in his image and likeness. Faith will be justified by your works, and when you fully grasp this truth, it will be easy to externalize healthy conditions in the body or circumstance. It will be just as easy to have life as death. It is for you to choose which you will have. That which is of the highest importance to you all is that you discern your thoughts and where they are moving. Habit is strong, and it will take you some time before you can dissolve your whole habitual ways of thinking and living. This is up to you. I cannot do it for you. I can only point the way that you should go. I cannot do that for you. I wish I could sometimes. But what use would it be to you if I did? It would not be yours. It could never be yours. Therefore, you have to grasp this tree of life. This is your salvation. It is a spring of living water rising up to eternal life. You will see that what I have been trying to impress upon you is of vital importance. It was of great vital importance. That you realize your oneness with the ever-present intelligent spirit that prevails throughout the whole universe. Choose wisdom rather than fine gold, and knowledge than rare silver. Realize the cosmic wholeness as yourself. This is the light that will dispel the darkness, the truth that will dispel evil. One exists as reality now, the other does not exist except in your own consciousness when ignorant of the truth. In this life is the light of man. Amid the darkness, the light shone, but the darkness did not master it. John. This is how your faith produces works, and how your faith is sustained by your works, and your works will prove your faith. In this light is the light of man. Amid the darkness the light shone, but the darkness did not master it. The light is the light of your own consciousness, the light of the truth, which your consciousness is aware of. I am the creator of my own thoughts. If I react to things external to myself in ignorance of this truth, I am caught up in the emotion of that reaction. I have lost myself in the emotions that create those habit patterns that express themselves in my own body and circumstance. What has happened now? I have placed my own life in a cage, in a prison in which I have created the walls, the door and bars. How do I break them down? I break them down through the realization that they do not exist except in my own mind through my own creation. And I have no power except the power I give. Then as peace comes into the mind, so the brain and nervous system harmonizes, and my whole organism then works as one unit, just as it was created to do by the intelligence that created it and the intelligence that is manifesting. I have come to this conclusion clearly and distinctly, that if you and I will completely understand that saying which the Master said so often, and realize in himself the great importance of it, I and the Father are one, this will free us from all doubt and fear and stupid reactions. Benediction. O blessed Creator of heaven and earth, that thy consciousness may be revealed to me as mine. Open my inner eye that I may behold thee behind the myriads of atoms coming into form. Thus open my consciousness that I may see behind the illusion of time and space, that in thee I dwell, and that I realize that thou hast made me in thy likeness, clear my consciousness of the illusion of fear and doubt, that my eye may be single. Let the waves of thy mighty creative power and faith dance upon the ocean of my dreams, that I may become like thee, to justify my faith by my words. For it is thee alone who worketh in me, O beloved friend and protector.